Okay, so yeah, there's a lot of work to do on this, and there are new parts coming in, but look how nice outside it is. So I think there's something better that I can do outside. We'll come back to this in a minute. This thing is so quiet, it's insane. It's like sitting on a couch and just floating down the road. It's awesome. Okay, so we are in the 85 Silverado. I've talked about this truck in a few different videos now, where I needed warmer weather to go to the car wash and use their power sprayer. I want to spray out the bed, and I want to degrease the engine and mainly the steering box, the power steering, because I can't tell where exactly it's leaking at. It's been leaking for so long, and it's so gunked up with stuff that I just can't tell where the leak is. Maybe multiple places too. So yeah, we're gonna go for a drive to the car wash. Okay, so this is what I'm trying to power spray off, is just all this. It's like somebody put a bad spray-on bed liner, and so I'm going to try and get rid of it. I sprayed down the engine compartment with the degreaser, especially the power steering. Well, you can see where it took off some. I mean, it was kind of working, but I think it's something where I think I need to invest in a power sprayer that's a good quality one. It's just been low on my priorities until this. I don't know, I'd really like to see this bed with all this paint off, but like, as you can see, let's see here, like, I mean, it's not even on there that hard. I should probably get a power sprayer, but it's frustrating. Yeah, well, that didn't work so good. It wasn't much of a power spray. It didn't really take off much of the paint, but I did get a lot of the grease off of the power steering box, which is kind of nice. I'll be able to see where that's leaking at. And truck ran great. Everything's awesome on this thing. It's just a killer truck. That is a good looking truck though. Look at that thing. Okay, so I got a couple hours. We're back from the car wash. Let's work on the bash guard. Crap, that was loud. Okay, so I think you can kind of start to see what's happening here. These are getting shaped up a little bit, roughed into place. I don't know, next week I'll start working on getting the bars in here and shaping it up. And yeah, but that's the essentially the shape it'll be. I'll play around with that a little bit. I was out of practice on that. I haven't had to torch cut thick metal in a while. But I think it looks pretty good. It'll take some grinding. I want them to be kind of beefy and Mad Max looking. And I want them to be like definitely not store-bought, you know? So I think this will be cool. Then I'll do some 1 inch on the front afterwards once it's all set. Then I'll have the driving lights in there and you know, some bars for the driving lights to sit on. It's gonna be cool. So I was having problems with the hood sitting down in the back. It was kind of popped up. And so someone sent me a nice message, told me that if you loosen the back 2 bolts on the hinge and just barely loosen the front one and then overextend the hood. So I put in this great big, it is maxed out, that you can get a little bit more movement out of the hinges. But I think my problem is that the hinges are just kind of wore out. I think the pivots are kind of shot on it. So I tightened them all down. I'm going to pull this out. Let's see what happens. Oh, crap. Okay, I'm going to have to sit this down. Whoa, I did it too much. Oh my God. Yeah, nothing happened. Well, it was worth a shot. I'm not sure where to go from there. I hate to buy new hinges, but I think that might be what happens. So I've only driven this truck around the parking area here, and the brakes were kind of working. The front disc brakes look great. So I kind of stopped thinking about brakes, but I pulled the drum off, and they got some pretty bad ridges on them, which is unfortunate. And this looked wet, but like dry, like an old wet. So I realized I've never checked the brake fluid on this. So, of course, the master cylinder, the rear brakes are completely dry. So I think someone was driving around on front brakes for quite a while. And then, I don't know if you can see, but the brake fluid is disgusting. Might be doing some brake work in the near future. We're doing something a little bit different today. I'm gonna make a trip out to, I guess it's a junkyard. It's kind of sketchy. Well, that's kind of insulting. It's unconventional, okay? It's out on the mesa, which, you know, the mesa is sketchy. So I'm hoping that, or I've been told they've got a few square bodies out there. So I'm hoping to get an original radio just to fill that hole. I don't really care if it works or not. It'd just be cool to fill that spot. And I'm hoping to get the heating ducts, which like all the tubing that's under the dash. I also got to stop at a friend's place. He's a Porsche guy. Usually there's a couple Porsches sitting around in progress, and we'll see how it goes. Fingers crossed. So my Porsche friend didn't want to be on camera. He wasn't feeling so good, and so yeah, we just kind of talked about his cars for a while. This one you may see on an upcoming episode of TALPA Garage. He's got a transmission that needs rebuilt for it, and we're talking. We're trying to figure out a way to have it at my place, do the work, and try and get it running. He had it running about 4 years ago, and the transmission went out, so it may be a future video. We'll see. This one he had running and driving just a couple years ago, I believe, and he talks about it here in a minute, and that was the only bit of audio I got while I was there, and he obviously has had fun in this thing. Here you go.
103rd 125 and fourth. And fifth, it gets wiggly at 130.
You've had this up to 130.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, so we're coming up on the junkyard here. And I didn't, the people who run this place are super nice. I didn't mean to make them sound like criminals or nothing. But it's the Mesa and it's New Mexico. And so it's kind of wild. So it's real windy. I'm not sure how much recording I'll get to do, but I'll do what I can. And we'll see what happens. So I made it out to the junkyard and it was windy. I mean, the wind out there is insane. But as you can see, the place is huge. And the cars, there's no order to them. It's a scrap metal place, so there's appliances, there's motorcycles, there's just metal everywhere. And so, yeah, I found probably about 6 different square bodies, but they're pretty picked over. There's not much left on them. This one, there was nothing in there I could get. This one was kind of cool just because they already had those hood stiffeners on it, which was kind of funny. Those LMC are the exact same thing that I got. So that was kind of cool to see that. And yeah, I mean, they're pretty picked over, or they're just really beat up and wrecked. A lot of them were missing steering columns, which I don't know what people are doing with all those steering columns. But, you know, I wanted the heater ducts, the piping, the tubing that's in the dash, and I was looking for a radio too, just one that would fill that spot. And a lot of them were missing. I did take this drip rail. I need a passenger side drip rail for mine. So that was kind of cool, getting to score that. This one, you can see the vents are gone already in this one. And a lot of them, the tubing was missing. I did take that radio. That was kind of cool, getting the radio. There's a vent. I took that one. And I got some other tubing vent from this car. I also took those radio dials. That was kind of cool to get those. This was cool to see, this 58 Ford that, you know, it was a 4-wheel drive. I assume somebody had done a frame swap conversion, body swap, I guess. But I don't know. I didn't really look at it that close, but it was kind of cool to see it sitting in a junkyard. This place is pretty wild. It's, you know, it was just a lot of stuff. There's my toolbox. Oh, there's the radio that I got. And it's in good shape. All the plastic's good. It's an AM, so that'll be kind of cool in the 79. But yeah, the place, you know, it's a trip. It's a different kind of junkyard. I didn't see anyone the whole time I was there. There was no vehicles, nobody around, and it was sort of wild. This is the box of goodies I got. You know, it's pretty much just the heating ducts. I think I got everything. There's a radio. I'll go through it once I get home, but the Mesa, it was windy, and I was ready to go home. Okay, so here's some of the heater duct stuff that I got from the junkyard. It's gonna put them in this water, try and clean off the worst of everything. I think I did pretty good. I think I have a whole setup. You know, it's hard because there's so many, you know, there's Silverados and there's GMC custom Sierras and air conditioning or not air conditioning. So I think between all of this, I can make it work. If you were to order all this from LMC, it'd be like $10,000. So I think I did all right. Here's some vents. I got some of those. Got a step guard thing, whatever. And there's some other stuff in the garage I'll show you. And so in the garage I have the radio and these knobs fit, which was kind of cool. The knobs were from a different truck. And so I'll get this cleaned up and get it in. And I don't know if it works or not. I don't have speakers or anything. I just wanted something to fill the the spot on the dash, you know. And then I also grabbed a what are they, cigarette lighter? Yeah, lighter. That was missing, so it was kind of cool. I'll get it cleaned up. But one of the things I'm most excited about, I ordered one of those full color wiring diagrams. I've seen them advertised for years. They're like $25, so it's kind of expensive. And I put off ordering it, but because this one underneath the dash is such a nightmare under this thing, the wiring is so screwed up on this truck and so hacked into and everything that I thought it might be nice to have. And it's pretty awesome. Like already the other day, I found just a couple wires hanging down and I didn't know what they went to. And I look it up on here and it was the cruise control. Somebody just, cut off the cruise control. It's kind of cool. I like it. I highly recommend these if you got wiring issues. Check out what came in the mail today. Let's put some wheels on. Okay, I got some wheels on it, and it's down on the ground, and they look pretty sharp. I got beauty rings ordered, so they'll be in, which is how it would have come stock. So I want to keep this thing as stock as possible. I just think these things were just really a good-looking truck, just right off the assembly line. I'm gonna try and keep stock as I can, with just a couple character flares on it, I guess. I stated on the first video with this truck that I didn't know a lot about four-wheel drive Chevys. I just thought all the four-wheel drives came with these center caps and that they were missing off of this truck. So one of the first things I did was I ordered a set of these center caps, and they came in and they're plastic, and I don't know, right away I had kind of a bad feeling on them. But then I went to put them on the wheel and there were no holes for the bolts to mount them. And I thought that was strange. Started Googling, and that's when I learned that, it was pretty common for them to come with these hubcaps, and that the hubcaps just have a hole in the center for the four-wheel drive. And I didn't know that. So it was cool to learn that. And so I got some hubcaps that were original to it. Oh, come on. And I think they look awesome. So anyone interested in a set of center caps, I'll make you a heck of a deal on them. So and a big thanks to everyone who subscribed and left comments. And it's been, I'm really enjoying making these videos, and I appreciate all the kind words from everyone. And advice, too. There's been some real good advice. So I appreciate it, and thank you very much. Peace and love.
Sometimes I feel like a lizard in a tin box. Sometimes it's just like being in a tin box. Like a lizard in a tin box. Can't hold on to the shiny